Hi, my name is Estella Moscow, and I'm on the Belle Farm team here in Middleton, Wisconsin. For those of you who are new to our neighborhood, Belle Farm is an eco health and wellness neighborhood focused on physical and mental well-being and a deep respect for the earth. So today I'm going to talk about our sustainability features in our neighborhood. Our sustainability features include solar, geothermal heating and cooling, EV-ready wiring, deep-rooted native plantings. There's no gas in our neighborhood, and we're preserving 50% open space. Starting with solar, all of our homes here have solar panels on the roofs, and it's enough solar to power the home. So not only is this a sustainable way to power the home via the sun, it also makes our neighborhood more resilient because, as we've seen with the grid outages throughout the country and also fluctuating energy prices and the storms that sometimes take out the power for days on end, our neighborhood is a bit more resilient because we're using the power of the sun as opposed to relying on the grid for energy. Not only is it sustainable, we're more resilient, our residents are oftentimes seeing a credit back from the energy company because the solar is producing excess and they're selling it back to the grid. So there are a lot of benefits to having solar on all of our homes at Belle Farm. Second sustainability feature is that all homes here have geothermal heating and cooling. When we were in the planning process of our neighborhood, we had a geothermal feasibility study done. It was determined that based on the layout of our neighborhood and the conductivity that the company saw, that vertical borings would be best for our neighborhood. So each home has its own vertical geothermal borings. They go down about 250 feet. And geothermal, what in essence it does is it pulls the stable temperature of the earth up through the borings, and then with the heat pumps in the basement, those heat pumps distribute the temperature throughout the home. And so coupled with the solar panels power those heat pumps, which then pulls that stable temperature and distributes it throughout the home. So it's a beautiful way that those two sustainability elements work together to power and heat and cool our homes. The next sustainability element I'll touch on are deep-rooted native plants. So at Belle Farm, we don't have traditional turf grass in our yards. We use deep-rooted native plantings. These are better at sequestering stormwater. They help with creating habitat for our pollinators. They're more drought resilient, they're lower maintenance, and our residents get to pick from a variety of flowering mixes that were put together by Jeff Epping. He is the former director of horticulture at Olbrich Gardens and has designed our plant list. We're super excited to be working with him. He's such a joy. And so our residents get to choose from those flowering mixes. We often get the question of, what if I have a dog or I want some like a grassy area for my kids to run around and play or some patio furniture? We can definitely work with you on that. There's a Lomo fescue that we can have installed in your yard and just chat with you on a case-by-case basis. The fourth sustainability element is that all of our homes are wired for EV chargers. We did this so that even if you don't have an EV right now, there's less friction to transition to one, because one of the main sticking points for people is that they need to get the charger installed into their garage. And to retrofit it into your garage usually requires bringing in an electrician and having sometimes your whole garage and house rewired just to bring that charger into the garage. So we're removing that friction. A lot of our homeowners are installing battery walls to hold excess power so that if their solar isn't producing as much energy one day, they can tap into the battery wall or they can use it to charge their cars. Or if there is a grid outage, they can tap into the battery wall then. So our goal is to reduce the friction should you transition to an EV or want a battery wall in your home. The fifth sustainability element I'll mention is that we're preserving 50% open space throughout our neighborhood. So we didn't want to be covering the earth with a bunch of asphalt and concrete. So our lots are smaller and more compact, but that 50% preserved open space, it allows stormwater to soak up better. It's great for our pollinators. And it also creates this community green space for residents to connect with nature and neighbors. And the last thing I'll mention is that we don't have gas lines for our single family homes. So our homes are powered by solar and then use geothermal heating and cooling. And they're tied into Madison Gas and Electric should we need to pull excess electricity from the grid, but we don't have gas. If you're interested in learning more about our neighborhood, I highly recommend checking out our website, www.bellefarm.live. And you can also reach out to me for any direct questions. I'm here as a resource, and my goal is to help you learn more about our neighborhood in Middleton. See you next time.